Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are talking about how to sell your home fast in 2022, and we're specifically going to dive into the 3 things that cause a home to sell. You just want to make sure that you're focused on these 3 things in order to get you the best offer possible with your most desired terms. So let's dive on into the video. So if this is your first time on the channel, my name is Jordan Pyle. I'm your go-to Chicago realtor. I run a team called Pyle Residential downtown in the city of Chicago, servicing buyers, sellers, and investors. And we love the opportunity to chat with you about your real estate goals. So feel free to click the link down in the description, set up a real estate strategy call, and we can talk about how to get you from where you are to where you're looking to go. And also, if this video has been helpful for you, please like, comment, and subscribe so that you can be sure to catch all of our future videos. All right, as we mentioned, we're talking about how to sell your home fast in 2022. And the first thing we're gonna focus on is price. Price. So in a seller's market, we've been in this low inventory market for the past, 5 or 6 years. I've actually been in the business for now 8 years, and it's pretty much been a seller's market ever since I've been in the business, and more so extreme in the last 2 or 3 years. But in terms of advising our sellers, the number one thing that we want to tell them is the last thing we want to do is to overprice your home. And the reason for this is because demand is outweighing supply. So we want to try to get as many eyes on this property as possible. And if we overshoot on the price, we're going to miss our mark and we're going to be above the parameters in which buyers are searching, ultimately ending up with less traffic on the property and less eyes and exposure that is going to lead to less offers or worse offers, and not the situation or the results that you want when it comes to selling your home fast in 2022. So what we do advise is that we're going to basically take all of the comparable properties, right? So we're going to take everything that's currently active, everything that's contingent or under contract, and then everything that's closed in the last 12 months. In the city of Chicago, downtown, like I said, where we operate, we want to take 12 months of comparable data because it's a seasonal market. So we want to understand, okay, based on this subject property, let's go a quarter-mile radius or a half-a-mile radius out, and let's just take the example of it's a 2-bed, 2-bath between $400,000 and $450,000, and we want to see what was selling at this time last year. So right now, as of date of this video, it is November 30th. So I want to know, if I'm advising a seller, okay, what was selling in the winter market of 2020, and that is going to be a comparable, and that's typically what the appraiser is going to look at once you actually get your home under contract, and they're coming out to determine and assess and confirm fair market value or the contract price that you receive. So once we come up with all that data, what's active, which is basically your competition, right? So in that same quarter-mile, half-mile radius for 2 beds, 2 baths between $400,000 and $450,000, who else is out there that's also trying to sell their home? And we just want to make sure that we're in line with everything else that's out there. And then we add a little bit more weight to the equation. We look at everything that's under contract with that same criteria as the subject property. And what this basically means is that at that price is not a published price of what they actually are under contract for. And we won't actually know that until the deal closes and we see that public data, but we can at least know that that was a price, and the condition and the way that they marketed that property caused that unit or that property to go under contract. And then, like I said, the third and most important with the most weight is everything that's closed in the last 12 months, so that we can get a really good picture of what fair market value is by looking at those 3 different channels. And then based on those channels, we are essentially going to say, okay, based on thinking that fair market value is here, we advise that we should either list it right at fair market value or even slightly below fair market value. And I know that this can be a little risky and it's a little bit scary as a homeowner to say, well, why are we listing this lower than what we actually want to sell it for? And the reasoning for this, and it all depends on parameters and what price point you're at. And we're not going to get into the details on that video because every situation is customized and it's a little bit different. We need to tailor this approach to you. So that's the moral of the story here, is that every single property has a tailored approach that's going to work for it. So that's why you need to have someone like ourselves out to really talk to you about your property and see what we could do to get that property sold for you at the highest price in the shortest period of time. But by listing low, what we are achieving here is that we're getting the maximum amount of exposure. So we're getting the most eyes on this property because it falls underneath what other things are selling for. So you don't want to be the most expensive property on the market in that given criteria in that geographical area. You either want to be somewhere in the middle, or maybe even the best looking deal, or potentially look like you have the most value in that subset of data that we're analyzing. That's typically our recommendation, is either price right at fair market value or price slightly below, so that we can drive as many buyers through the door, hopefully getting you into a multiple offer situation where you not only get the best offers, but typically you get your most desired terms. All right, next Next up on the list, we're talking about condition. And condition, what we mean by that is basically taking care of any deferred maintenance, maybe decluttering, maybe we're staging the property and we're getting really good photography. Really those 4 things, and possibly even updating some things. So if you can spend 10 grand to make an extra 30, those are the things that we might want to consider. But condition is critically important. The common day buyer or the modern day buyer, they're looking to move right into a property. Gone are the days, in my opinion, based on the buyers that I'm working with and the sellers that I work with, where we're selling the properties for them. Most buyers in today's market, they say they want a project, but when it comes down to it, they actually want to just have something that's turnkey that they can move right into. So we want to make sure that we're on trend with some of these updates. Like I said, taking care of maybe some deferred maintenance. And what I like to describe to my sellers is when you're walking through the home, imagine yourself from the eyes of a buyer that's walking through. So if you're reaching for the front door and the doorbell's gone or the wood's all scratched, think about all the things that the eye is naturally going to go to and just make sure those items are shored up before listing the property, because those are immediately going to detract from the value of the home, and they're going to try to come back around once under contract during the inspection period and try to negotiate on some of these items. So the best things you can do is make sure that the property is decluttered, you're taking care of any deferred maintenance, you've made any updates that you feel a direct exchange of value by putting money into the property, you're going to receive that money back. You're getting really good photography, and then potentially, depending on what your furniture looks like and if it's vacant, staging the property. Those 4 things are really gonna help you maximize your condition so that you can appeal to the most buyers possible. All right, and last but not least, we're talking about exposure, AKA marketing. And this is my favorite part about the business. I love marketing, and it's so critically important nowadays. And when you're interviewing agents to sell your home, make sure you ask them, what are you going to do to market my home in the digital world? So we use a 3-prong approach. And I'm gonna save the digital world stuff for the end because I think it's the most important. But you're gonna get the old school techniques of marketing and exposure when you list with us. And what I mean by that is you're gonna have the open houses, we're gonna cold call around the neighborhood, we're gonna put out postcards or flyers or hang something up in the Starbucks nearby. You're gonna get all of that, but that is not what's selling homes today. Because really when you utilize those type of strategies, you're banking on somebody to be walking into the door that is not necessarily working with an agent. So maybe this is looky-loo is what we call them. You know, when you have an open house, you know, some of the neighbors just walk by or people see your signs out on the street and they walk on in, but they're not actually motivated, ready, willing, and able buyers. So as much as those things help, it's almost just like the cherry on the top, and any agent is going to provide those things to you. But if those are the only things that that agent's going to do, I would be wary about working with that realtor to sell your home. And the next thing, which I think we have done a really good job, and me specifically, is that I have networked my whole career through various young professionals networks to build a broker community and a sphere of influence of other realtors, high producing top realtors throughout the city of Chicago and nationally, actually globally at this point. I pretty much have connections across the country and the world from the best realtors in those respective cities that I can refer you to, and that I can also network with in the Chicago market in order to make sure that those realtors know about your home. So there's this thing called the Top Agent Network as well as the Private Network. So we have access to TAN, or the Top Agent Network, and this is essentially the top 10% of realtors in the city of Chicago, and it's a portal for us to exchange coming soon listings with buyers that are looking for properties. And what's so critically important about this, and something that you need to understand, is that there's over 16,000 agents in the city of Chicago, and depending on where you're seeing this video from, there's either less than that or there's way more than that depending on some markets. However, the top 400 agents in the city of Chicago sell about 90% of the homes. So by leveraging the Top Agent Network and making sure that our broker community is getting the marketing and we're having conversations with them about your home, we're gonna make sure that all 400 of those top producing agents selling 90% of the homes, that they're communicating this property with their buyers. Because 9 out of 10 times, maybe even more than that, the buyer who is actually gonna be buying your home is not unrepresented. They're typically working with the buyer's agent, and the reason for this is because it's free. It's a free service. The commission is established by the seller. So to use a buyer's agent, it costs the buyer nothing, so they might as well have the expert advice of somebody that does this day in and day out. So that is how we leverage our broker community in order to achieve the best results for you and all of our other clients. Now, as I mentioned, new age approaches. So really what we're referring to here is social media. we're talking about video, and then we're talking about digital advertising. So let's just break those down one by one. So social media, everything nowadays is going to content. So when we list your property, we want to make sure that we're doing a Facebook Live or an Instagram Live through that property, whether it be a coming soon post or a just listed. And we're wanting to just attract all of the people that follow us on social media to that property. Nowadays, things like TikTok and Instagram Reels have really exploded. So short form content in combination with long form content. So what we do is we actually do property tours that we put on our Pyle Residential YouTube channel, which is the one that you're watching this on right now. And we're gonna have a lot more property tours to come in 2022 as we're a relatively young channel. But we're gonna be putting long form, let's call it, 3 to 5 minute videos, maybe 2 to 5 minute videos on YouTube in order for people to find your property by way of YouTube, which is basically Google, because Google owns YouTube. So if they're searching for a home in a certain area, there's a good chance that they might want to watch a video in a property tour of your home versus just going and clicking through pictures. So that is one way, and then we're going to combine that with short form content through TikTok and Reels. And this might just be something very simple. So the short form content might just be one of our teammates recording me walking through your property, kind of pointing out with a nice track viral song on the video and pointing out different features of the home and putting text on the screen overlaid on there so that they can really get a short form piece of content, quick hit content, which is gonna really allow us to get to the most exposure possible by combining that long form and that short form content. So I kind of killed 2 birds with 1 stone there, but what we like to do too is also just get an official and a professional property video of your home. So this is gonna be about a 2-minute video, like I said, with something really catchy from a music standpoint. And we're just gonna have basically a drone type of footage walking through your home, not a Matterport. You might see those digital renderings or those 3D tours, but we feel nowadays people really want to see just a 2-minute video walking through that home with a professional camera looking really nice and professional. And then last but not least, we are talking about digital advertising. So we run Google ads and Facebook ads on all of our properties that we list so that you can get the additional exposure for people that might be seeing your ads online, clicking on those ads to get more information, where then we reach out to them, see if they have any real estate needs that we can help them with, or if they have any further questions about the home. And we follow up with these leads religiously in order to make sure that we're capitalizing on any potential opportunity that's out there, and we're uncovering every single stone to make sure that we can find you the buyer that's going to buy your place in the quickest period of time at the highest dollar price possible. So that wraps it up. Those are the 3 things that we really focus on and that you need to understand before you sell your house in 2022 in order to sell your home fast. And that, again, just to recap, is your price, your condition, and your exposure. So without those 3 things, you're gonna be swimming upstream without a paddle, and you need to stand out in the crowd, especially as we're starting to see more inventory hit the market and demand start to wane just a bit. And we're expected to see interest rates continue to creep up, which might push some buyers out of the market, which will make it more and more difficult for you to sell your property in 2022. But by working with a realtor who has executed on these strategies time and time again, you are gonna make sure that you are in the best position to capitalize on the equity in your home. So if this information has been valuable, again, please like, comment, and subscribe to this video. It would mean a lot. If you have any further questions, just put those down in the comment box below. I answer all of the comments on our videos, and we'd love to chat with you if you click the real estate strategy call link in the description about your real estate goals and how we can help you get from where you are to where you want to be. So thank you so much. Comment, like, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video.